Shalom. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rekakodash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and say peace, mercy, and blessings to all the hopeful elect. The true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists or He is to be. The true name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer. We are the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called African Americans, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Latins, Hispanics, so-called indigenous Americans, all right, Haitians, Jamaicans, West Indians, all right, we are the children of Israel, the lost 12 tribes, the self-proclaimed white man, the Europeans, the Caucasians, they are the Edomites or Idumeans, according to the Bible, according to Bible prophecy, they're the end of the world, and Israel is the beginning of it that followed, all right. The real name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He exists, He is to be. The real name of the Son is Yahweh Shai, which means He is the deliverer. It's very important that you know those names. As is written in prophecy, all those who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. But, of course, it's dealing with the elect, you know. And this lesson is going to be on this article from End Time Headlines. Of course, we've all been hearing about, the port strikes. Okay, it says developing. Brace for empty shelves and rising grocery prices if port workers strike. Okay, and something that just came to my spirit, you also want to throw into this, into this mess, the migrants, the people that have been coming over here. They have been given, lump sums, X amount of dollars of food stamps, etc. They're already going in there clearing out shelves. And you have a lot of Americans, hardworking Americans, you have what's called, because they pretty much the 2020 thing, you should know what I'm talking about, the scam, demic, pretty much that wiped out the middle class, so there's no more middle class, you're working poor, it's to the point to where a lot of people work full-time jobs, 1 or 2 jobs, 60 hours a week, and they'll have to live out a damn vehicle. They can barely afford groceries, but then you have migrants that are coming up here, they're getting thousands of dollars in SNAP benefits, EBT benefits, food stamps, whatever you want to call it, clearing out stores, okay? On top of port workers going on a strike, and they're saying it's going to be more empty shelves and rising grocery prices, people are already complaining about the price of everything. What's the price of everything is up. Canned goods is like $4 or $5 for fucking canned goods, man. It says, opinion, dock workers along the East and Gulf Coast have pledged to strike unless a new contract is reached by October. So that's what, a week away, about 4 or 5 days away. Prompting experts to warn higher prices and empty shelves could await consumers, which this is prophecy anyway. Higher prices and empty shelves, that's prophecy. Okay? In fact, some experts say prices could rise before year's end, impacting goods during the critical holiday season. So motherfuckers ain't gonna have no damn candy for Halloween. You ain't got no turkey for Thanksgiving. You ain't gonna have no damn presents for Christmas, man. This is gonna affect this demonic ass hamster wheel of a holiday season. And call all you loud, Yahweh Shem Shai. It's the same shit. You have what? Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, Easter, The dire situation arose just as consumers were beginning to experience some relief from inflation, which that's bullshit. The International Longshoremen Association is negotiating on behalf of 45,000 dock workers. 45,000 dock workers, man, at 3 dozen U.S. ports from Maine to Texas that collectively handle about half of the country's seaborne imports. It warned its members are prepared to stop work if they don't have a new contract by the October 1st deadline. So you got these workers, man, they're getting ready to call it quits, so ain't shit gonna be moving as of first, and that's going to affect the whole country for days, weeks, months ahead. And all this is happening when right around the time of the election. Okay. The Retail Industry Leaders Association said in a statement that retailers view the strike and its imminent disruption as a self-inflicted wound to the U.S. economy, like the U.S. economy is not already struggling, like the U.S. dollar is not already weak. All right, so I'm going to go to this in second address. This is second address chapter 6. I'm going to jump down to 17. And it happened that when I had heard it, I stood upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Yeah, you just had Hurricane Helene, which that not only affected Florida, but it affected, many states. You have many people without power, homes, and even claimed the lives of many. But that's the visitation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? And guess what? Those hurricane waters bring gators too. Gators, crocs, right? This is Isaiah 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts with thunder, right? When you go back to the book of Joshua, book of Samuel, how did the Lord visit these heathens? With thunder, okay? And with earthquake. What did Yahushua say in the gospel? There shall be earthquake in diverse places. And great noise with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So it's all a visitation of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? And there's supposed to be another storm forming in the Gulf. Yeah, let's just look at the death toll. Over 50 dead as Helene unleashes life-threatening floods. Helene flooding, which Helene is a Greek name that means shining light. Okay, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua has his men, his prophets shining that light, on the highways and hedges week in and week out, doing the indoor sit-downs, shining that light constantly, man. Okay, Helene flooding is catastrophic national disasters warned in NC. Helene kills at least 57, causes catastrophic flooding in southeast after Florida landfall. Okay, Helene death toll rises, millions still without power. All right, so let's go back to second Ezra 6. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. So we see how the Lord is visiting. Okay, and will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and that's Esau, the elites, the 1%, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And as it's written, injuries and riches gotten by deceit. The kingdom is what? It's translated from one people to another. Okay. And will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Sion shall be fulfilled, which once the elect gets sealed, man, once the elect gets sealed, destruction is going to be let loose. Okay, 20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, and then I shall show these tokens, the signs, which we're seeing the signs, man. The signs of the economic collapse, the strengthening of the BRICS nations and their, BRICS pay, digital currency, okay, which they're, which these nations are backing away from the U.S. dollar. That's hurting their economy, okay? That's hurting the economy. The dollar dominance on the world is over. That proves that America is the hammer of the earth, because what is America doing? Going around putting sanctions on the other countries, okay? And when the U.S. dollar is hurting, that affects the economy of the other countries, man. Okay, so other nations, they're backing away, okay? Then will I shew these tokens, the books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. And that's talking about the scriptures, man. Okay. 21, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The woman with child shall bring forth untimely children, 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. 22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And back, and what is this article threatening? Or was it saying that could happen? Brace for empty shelves, okay? And if they do have goods, and rising grocery prices, okay? So it's getting ready to be a hell of a winter, man. It's getting ready to be a hell of a winter, okay? Because also, what's you can't forget is there's so much going on, but you have what coming up? The elections this November, okay? Now, we a couple days away from October. They're supposed to have port strikes in October, but you also have something known in the political world, the world of politics, as what? An October surprise. This is from Wikipedia. In the politics of the U.S., an October surprise is a news event that may influence the outcome of an upcoming November election. Okay. It says particularly one for the presidency, whether deliberately planned or spontaneously occurring. Okay. So let's see. This is from Rootgers.com. Rootgers. All right. It says, what is an October surprise and where does the term come from? The term was popularized in 1980 as President Jimmy Carter could not get the Iranian hostages, which Iranians are Persians. Okay, those are the modern day Persians, which that's very important because they are a very important prophecy, along with Russia, who's what Gog and Magog. And you got China, you got Moab. Okay, those are the two leading nations that are leading the rebellion, of going against the West with this whole BRICS currency, which is the Persians and Gog and Magog, the Russians. But then you have China and other nations who are joining along with them. Okay. It says, and his failure was one of the main reasons why he was losing in the polls to Ronald Reagan. The October surprise was going to be his last-minute success in getting them out. Obviously, it never happened. Afterward, there was some suggestions that Reagan's campaign conspired with the Iranians to hold the hostages through the election. This gambit, though never proven, came to referred as the October surprise. Now the term refers to any late-breaking major news that upends the presidential election. And with how this year's been going, there's already been 2 attempts on Mr. DJ Trump's life. So who knows what this surprise can be. But one thing we do know is great turmoil is coming the second Edges 15 and 16. This is from the Good News translation. Okay. There will be great political turmoil. Okay. With one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. You have a lot of men of our nation, so-called black men, ex-cons for Trump, black men for Trump. You even have, straight up niggas for Trump. So a lot of men, whether they white or not, they're not feeling Kamala, cackling Kamala. Okay, the laughing hyena Kamala, they're not feeling her. Mainly the black woman and simps are in the spirit of voting for her. Okay, so who knows what could happen. We don't know if she's gonna get in office, or DJ T gonna get in office, or they gonna take him out, or they gonna fake take him out. We don't know. But one thing we do know is that all our hell is coming to Babylon the Great. We see the forming of the BRICS nations. Okay, they're backing away from the dependency on the dollar. It's from Reuters News. What is a BRICS currency? And is the U.S. dollar in trouble? Yes, it is in trouble. All right, because Esau is in He's an insurmountable amount of debt, which he cannot get out of, right? That's in Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yet also because he transgressed by wine, and that's his policies, from his currency to his religion to his feminism, his transhumanism, his digital payments, monetary system, his military, all of that. Okay? Economic hitmen, his jackals, his puppets that he set in leadership in other nations. He's the hammer of the earth. Okay, and for a long time, these other nations have been drunken off that wine, but now they're becoming mad, and they're breaking up with the whore. They're not dealing with the whore anymore. Okay, he is a proud man. Need to keep it at home, right? Let's just see. U.S. Embassy and U.S. Consulate listings for immigration and visas to the U.S. The U.S. states counts near 173 embassies and 88 consulates across the world. Okay, that goes back into Rev 17 about, the whore that sit upon many waters, right? He is a proud man. He don't keep it at home, right? He got embassies and consulates there all over, who enlarges his desire as hell. Now, is this talking about a place under the ground where you're going to burn and be tormented by demons for all eternity? No, it's talking about the grave, meaning his desire, his covetousness, his greed is as the grave, because, all flesh must die. It ain't like the grave gonna ever be satisfied, but that's the spirit of Esau, which is why he wants what? Total control and domination over each and every individual on the earth who is left alive. We can't forget about, even next year, they're talking about how 6 billion people is going to drop, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heap it unto him all people. Okay? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, and that's the spirit of Esau. He lives by the sword. How long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay. And that's the problem. This is going to be his undoing. It's going to backfire. All those sanctions, okay, they're backfiring on him. Because now the nations, they're not even trying to deal with the dollar. Okay? And by them putting sanctions on the country, they only standing to weaken themselves, to go into the definition of this word clay.
Strong's H, 5671, avteet.
And as you can see, heavy debts. Okay? Look at the have you ever looked at the U.S. debt clock? You should. But yeah, you just look at the national debt. All right? I believe that's over 35 trillion. 35 trillion in debts, man. And counting. Okay? So yeah, the dollar dominance is done. Okay? The U.S. economy is done. Okay? This October is going to really shake things up in this country. Okay? So yeah, you can expect for all hell to break loose. But let's read a little more of this article. It says, Johannesburg, August 23, Brazil's president called on Wednesday for the BRICS nations to create a common currency for trade and investment between each other as a means of reducing their vulnerability to the dollar exchange rate fluctuations, right? There's a saying with these nations, when the U.S. sneezes, the world catches the fever, which means the U.S. Dollar, when it fluctuates, when it's weakened, it affects the currencies, it affects the monetary systems of these other nations, and pretty much puts them in the hole that they can never get out of. Okay, and the U.S. dollar's not backed by anything. BRICS nations, they want to back this up by gold, which is real substance, real wealth. Okay, for trade and investment between each other as a means of reducing their vulnerability to the dollar exchange rate fluctuations. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva made a proposal at BRICS Summit in Johannesburg. Officials and economists had pointed out the difficulties involved in such a product, given the economic, political, and geographic disparities between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Okay, and you also have other nations who are joining, and other nations who want to join, such as Iran, the United Arab Emirates. Okay, this is from Kitco.com. BRICS Bridge digital payment system will be a bombshell globally. Chair of Russia's Federation Council. The BRICS nations continue to make progress on the road towards de-dollarization. Okay, that's the name of it. It's over, man. It's over for Babylon. Okay, it's over for this place. It's falling. Okay, but during this fall, just like the Lord said, I wish that it would roughly pray. Let me just get it, man. I'll come to send fire on the earth, or what will I if it be already kindled? Luke 12 and verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? So it's gonna be protests. It's gonna be uproars of the people. Why? Because they can't get food, basic necessities. Okay, Egyptian against Egyptian wars, rumors of wars. All right. I'll go back to second address, and I'm gonna end it here. I didn't want to make this, too long, but pray this is edifying. This is second address 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, which means destruction. And we see how that's happening. Okay, it's likened unto a woman in travail, man. Those birthing pains, they're not ceasing. We're seeing them pick up. Things have not gotten better since, the 2020 people think, or people were saying how they wish things would go back to normal, and they thought that it would, but shit ain't normal. Shit is worse. For the sword and their destruction draw nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in his hands, and that's inside this country. The Lord's going to put Egyptian against Egyptian, but you also have to think about the aspect of the sleeper cells and the people that come from other nations who are just waiting to get activated. Okay, they leave the world behind. It shows you that, man. It shows you that. All right. Once you Egyptians go against each other's throats, other nations gonna get real active. It's gonna get real interesting. Okay. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They ain't gonna give a damn. People ain't gonna give a shit about the government because people are tired of the government. Their government screwing them over, constantly taking away their rights and disrespecting their constitutional rights. All right, because just about everything Esau does is unconstitutional. Taxes, unconstitutional. Child support, which is the name of it, is Title 4D, unconstitutional. All right, you happen to register your vehicle, to travel. All that shit is unconstitutional. They shall not regard their kings nor prince. They ain't gonna care about the senator, mayor, governor. None of that. Okay? And the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? Because who gonna stop them, right? Cops gonna have to protect their own family, which the police is already being severely defunded. All right, people are quitting the force in droves. Okay, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Okay, meaning access to the cities is going to be cut off. Okay, checkpoints are going to be Checkpoints are going to be set up. Highways cut off. Okay? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. There's going to be trouble with famine. It's going to be trouble with pestilence. There's going to be trouble with violence, drug abuse, power outages, you name it. Okay? The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's the times that we're in. Okay? Because now all of these migrants are coming up. You know, men are afraid. They speak different languages. They have different cultures. They do things different down there in Springfield, Ohio. They're saying that they're taking the cats and dogs and eating them, which you don't know if that's true or not. You know, which that could be the case for voodoo or hoodoo purposes. But the fact that these people are getting cars and also the money, they can just drive to the store and get food. So I'm not really buying it. You know, the case that woman that they found, she wasn't even from that area. And who knows if she's Haitian? She could have been a bugged out American. You know? 19, a man, this is when shit is really going to get real, man. When people can't get their goods, their food. Okay? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? But shall destroy their houses with the sword. And that's why people have been saying, get out the city. You know, get out the city, get out the city. But hey, man, it's going to be a bad time, but Yahweh Shem Yoshai will protect his elect, okay? And shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? So, yeah, this is what's coming, man. You got port strikes, you got October surprise, you got different nations that are backing away from the U.S. dollar, you know. And I pray this has been edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Say shalom to the hopeful elect.